My name is Natalie, and on my 34th birthday, everything changed. For months, I'd been saving for one perfect night. I bought myself a designer dress, cream-colored silk with delicate crystal beading. It cost $3,000. I made a reservation at the most exclusive restaurant in Chicago. I wanted to celebrate the life I had built with my own hands. Then, right in the middle of dinner, my 17-year-old niece Sophia picked up her cranberry cocktail, looked me straight in the face, and threw it across the table. Cold red liquid hit my chest and soaked straight through the silk. It ran down in thin red lines, like blood. The restaurant went quiet. Time felt like it stopped. "Now you look as cheap as you really are," she said, smiling. My mother patted Sophia's hand like she was the victim. I just sat there and smiled, because that's what I've always done. But inside, something finally snapped. Before I tell you what happened next, please hit like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments where you're watching from. You will not believe where this story goes. Let me back up. In my family, I've always been the capable one, the strong one, the one who will fix it. While my sister Vanessa stayed in our hometown, bouncing from job to job and apartment to apartment, I moved to Chicago. I built a career in marketing. I started as an entry-level assistant and worked my way up, step by step, night after night, until I became executive director at one of the biggest firms in the Midwest. My apartment overlooks Lake Michigan. I drive a luxury car I bought myself after my last promotion. My closet is full of clean, tailored, professional clothes that I paid for. All of it came from sacrifice. Long hours. Missed weekends. No shortcuts. Vanessa, who's 3 years older than me, chose something different. She got pregnant at 20. She dropped out of community college. She worked minimum wage jobs. She dated men who never stayed. I never judged her for that. I loved my niece, Sophia, from the day she was born. But because of their choices, I became the safety net for everyone. Nat, the landlord is threatening eviction. Just this one time, please. Nat, my car broke down again. Sophia needs to get to her dance recital. The power bill is overdue. Could you help, like, just until Friday? At first, it really was just this one time. Then it became constant. I added Vanessa to my credit card for emergencies only. That was 2 years ago. Since then, emergencies somehow included designer purses, spa days, hotel weekends, salon visits, and restaurant meals she absolutely could not afford. Every month, I paid the bill. I didn't complain. I told myself, family helps family. When Sophia turned 16 and needed a car to get to school and dance, I bought her one. A safe, reliable sedan. I registered it in my name and I paid the insurance. I told her, "You can use it until you graduate." Her face fell when I said, "Use, not have." My mother, Patricia, made all of this so much worse. Growing up, I worked hard and Vanessa got praised. At piano recitals, I'd play every note perfectly and get, "Nice job, Natalie." Vanessa would make 10 mistakes and get, "Oh, sweetie, you're so brave. You tried your best." With applause. When I got scholarships for college, Mom said I was lucky. When I got my first real marketing job, Mom asked, "Do you really have time for a career?" When I earned promotions, she said, "I hope you're not working too hard, sweetheart. Money isn't everything." But when Vanessa called crying because she was broke again, Mom said, "She's doing her best. She just has such a big heart." That was the pattern. Always. Last month, I got promoted again, Executive Vice President of Client Relations. Huge raise. Big title. This was the job I dreamed of. I called my mom. I wanted her to be proud. Her response? "That's wonderful, honey. Did I tell you Vanessa is thinking about taking some online classes? She's so brave." Vanessa called later and said, "Must be nice. Some of us have real responsibilities, not just fancy offices." In the background, I heard Sophia fake gagging and laughing. And still, I loved them. I kept helping. I kept paying. I kept hoping one day they would finally see me, not the walking wallet, not the lucky one, but me. When my 34th birthday was coming up, I decided, this year will be different. I booked a private room at one of the top restaurants in Chicago. You can't just call and get in. Reservations open 3 months in advance. I literally set a calendar reminder so I could call the second the system opened. I wanted it on the exact date of my birthday. I got it. It felt like a sign. The dress was next. I wanted something that said, "This is who I am now. This is my life. I did this." I spent 4 weekends going to boutiques. Then I found it. A cream-colored Stella McCartney silk sheath dress that hit just below the knee. Subtle crystal beading on the neckline. Clean, classic, powerful. $3,000. I had never spent that much money on a single item of clothing in my entire life. But when I put it on, I felt right. I looked like the woman I had worked so hard to become. The saleswoman asked, "Special occasion?" "My birthday," I said. "I'm having dinner at Alania." "How lovely." She smiled. "Your husband must be very proud." "No husband," I said. "Just me." "Celebrating me." She nodded. "Even better." I invited my closest friends. Kate, my friend from college, now a pediatrician. Jasmine from work. Daniel and his husband Ryan from my building. They all answered right away with yes. And "I can't wait." And "What can I bring?" Then I called my family. "A Thursday night?" My mom said. "That's a long drive into the city." "I'll send a car for you," I offered. "We'll see. I'll have to check with Vanessa. And Sophia might have dance practice." I swallowed that. "It's at Alania," I said quietly. It was hard to get. "I'd really love it if you could come." "We'll try," she said. Vanessa's response was worse. "Alania? Isn't that place, like, super expensive?" "It's my treat," I told her. "For everyone." "Well," she said, "Sophia will need something to wear. She can't just show up in jeans. You're gonna have to send money." I closed my eyes and counted to 5 before I answered. "I can send money for an outfit for her, yes." "That's the least you can do," she said, like I was bothering her by inviting her to a $1,000 dinner. And we might be late. Sophia's got dance until 6. The morning of my birthday, I woke up early. Massage, facial, hair, makeup. I wanted to feel calm and beautiful. For once in my life, I let myself hope. Tonight will be different. Tonight they will be proud. Tonight they will finally see me. By 6 p.m. I was ready. The dress fit perfectly. My hair fell in soft waves. My makeup was elegant, not heavy. I looked like a woman who knew her worth. When I walked into the restaurant, the staff greeted me by name. "Happy birthday, Miss Wells. Your private room is ready. The champagne is on ice as requested." My friends arrived at 6:30 with gifts and huge smiles. Kate hugged me and whispered, "You look absolutely stunning." At 7:15, we were seated. No sign of my family. At 7:30, nothing. At 7:45, right as the second course was being served, they finally walked in. My mother came in wearing the same dress she wears to every nice event. Vanessa looked irritated, like the traffic had personally insulted her. And Sophia walked in behind them. On her phone. In a crop top and a mini skirt that was absolutely not appropriate for a restaurant like this. "Sorry we're late," my mother said in a voice that did not sound sorry at all. "Traffic. Terrible." The staff quietly reset the table for them and brought the first course. The energy shifted immediately. My friends tried to be kind. They asked questions. "So, Sophia," Daniel said, "Natalie told us you're a really talented dancer." Sophia shrugged without looking up from her phone. "I guess. She's extremely talented." My mother cut in. "Her teacher says she could go professional. She just needs better training." Vanessa added, "The studio in our town is so basic." I knew that tone. I knew what was coming. "If Sophia is serious about dance," I said gently, "I could help look into summer intensives in Chicago. There are some really good programs." "We can't all afford to live in luxury high-rises, Natalie," Vanessa snapped. "Some of us have to make do with what we have." The table froze. Ryan glanced at me. I gave him a tiny shake of my head. "Don't jump in." Not yet. It got worse from there. My friends celebrated me. They made toasts about how hard I've worked. They told stories about how I've helped them. They made me feel seen. My mother's toast was, "Happy birthday, sweetheart. 34 already. Time flies." Vanessa raised her glass and said, "To my little sister, always reaching for the stars while the rest of us stay on the ground." Sophia didn't toast at all. She was too busy texting under the table. Then it was time for gifts. Kate and Jasmine gave me a leather portfolio embossed with my initials. Daniel and Ryan gave me a weekend spa package in Michigan. They wrote thoughtful cards. They said things like, "You deserve rest." Vanessa handed me a plastic bag from a discount store. Inside, a clearance candle. The $10 sticker was still on it. The card said, "Happy birthday, sis," with all their names scribbled under it. I smiled. "Thank you. This is lovely. We can't all afford fancy presents," Vanessa said loudly. "Some of us have real expenses." Then dessert came in. It was gorgeous. A chocolate creation with edible flowers and "Happy Birthday, Natalie" written in gold on the plate, with a sparkler. People at other tables were looking over and smiling. For a second, just 1 second, I felt proud. This was my life. I built this. I worked for it. I paid for it. I did this. Then I saw Sophia lean over and whisper to Vanessa, and Vanessa smirked. Then my mother leaned in too. All three of them glanced at me with identical little faces. My stomach dropped. "Everything okay?" I asked. "We're fine," my mother said. "Sophia was just saying how fancy everything is." I turned to Sophia and tried, one more time, to extend kindness. "I'm glad you could come," I told her. "I know weeknight events are hard with your schedule." She looked me right in the eye and said, "Yeah, must be nice to waste money like this when there are people starving." "Be nice," Vanessa said, but there was no real correction in her voice. "It's your aunt's birthday." Daniel tried to change the subject. "So, Sophia, college. Any ideas what you might want to study?" Sophia rolled her eyes. "Not everyone gets to go to college. Some of us have to work." I took a careful breath. "Actually," I said, "I've been putting aside some money for your education." Silence. Vanessa blinked. "What do you mean, money?" "I started a college fund when you were born, Sophia," I told her. "It's not huge, but it will cover community college at minimum. More if you get scholarships." My mother frowned. "You never mentioned this." "I wanted it to be a surprise when the time was right," I said. "She's 17 now." I thought now was the time. Instead of being grateful, all three of them hardened at once. "Oh," Vanessa said slowly. "So you've just been sitting on a pile of money while we struggled." "That's not what I said," I told her. "It's specifically for Sophia's education. It's in a trust. Always the savior." Vanessa snapped. "Always making the rest of us look bad." And that's when Sophia stood up. She grabbed her cranberry cocktail, a special non-alcoholic drink the restaurant made just for her. "You want to know what I think of your help?" she said loudly. "You want to know what I think of your fancy dress, and your fancy restaurant, and your fancy life?" Before I could even move, she threw the entire drink at me. The red liquid hit my face and my chest and exploded down my $3,000 silk dress. I felt it soaking into the fabric, hot and sticky. It was ruined in 1 second. I could hear the sound of my own breathing. That's how quiet it got. Sophia looked me dead in the eye and said, clear and slow, "Now you look as cheap as you really are." Daniel jumped up, but I held up my hand. I didn't want a scene. I was already in a scene. I was expecting my mother to shout at Sophia. I was expecting Vanessa to apologize. Instead, my mother stroked Sophia's hand. "I think we should go," she said calmly, standing up. "Natalie, this was all a bit much. You know how teenagers can get when they feel uncomfortable." Vanessa grabbed her purse. "We told you this place was too fancy. You should have done something simple if you wanted us to come." And then they walked out. They left me there, covered in red, shaking in front of my friends in a room full of strangers. I sat there frozen while the cranberry juice dripped onto the white tablecloth. Then I heard my own voice say, calm and even, "It's fine. Thank you for coming." My friends surrounded me immediately. Kate wrapped her arm around me and said, "That was unacceptable. You did nothing wrong." Jasmine handled the bill. Daniel and Ryan walked me out so I wouldn't have to walk past all the stairs alone. Back at my apartment, with my friends around me, I finally cried. It wasn't just about the dress. It wasn't just about that night. It was the moment I finally understood the truth. They were never going to love me the way I loved them. They were never going to respect me. They were never going to see me. After my friends left, I sat alone on my couch in my ruined $3,000 dress and opened my banking app. I started scrolling. Years of transfers. Rent money. Bills. Cash. Emergencies. Gas money. Grocery money. Card payments. Then I opened my credit card account and looked at the charges Vanessa had put on our emergency card. Designer stores. Salons. Restaurants. Hotels. Spa packages. Not survival. Lifestyle. Then I made the mistake of opening social media. And there it was. Sophia had already posted a blurry photo of me in the stained dress with the caption, "When rich auntie needs to be taken down a peg. #sorry, #cheapest she really looks." There were already dozens of likes. Vanessa had liked it. She had even left laughing emojis. She also posted secret videos from dinner. Clips of me opening her $10 candle, zooming in on my face, with captions like, "Andy pretending to like the dollar store gift in her $1,000 dress." Fake! Rich people problems. The comments were disgusting. Did she cry? But she has 10 more dresses just like that. Rich people deserve it. In that moment, something inside me finally broke loose. Not in a bad way, in a clean way. The begging for approval part of me, dead. The be the bigger person part, done. The family first no matter what part, gone. And in its place, there was something new. Clarity. I picked up my phone. The first call I made was to my credit card company. The second was to my lawyer. Then I stood up, took off my ruined $3,000 dress, and hung it in my bathroom. It had red stains all down the front. It looked like a crime scene. I kept it there on purpose. I wanted to see it, because that dress, ruined in public by someone I loved and paid for and supported, was the moment everything changed. I showered. I scrubbed cranberry out of my hair and skin. I sat on the edge of my bed in a robe and stared into space while memories lined up in my head like a slideshow. Vanessa accidentally spilling wine on my graduation dress. Sophia forgetting to tell me about family gatherings. My mother brushing off every achievement I've ever had. And then asking me for money 2 minutes later. Why did I accept this? For so long? My phone started blowing up that night. Kate, Daniel, and Jasmine texting me. "Are you okay?" That was inexcusable. "I love you. I'm here." But then I opened my laptop and got to work. I pulled my financial records, bank statements, credit card statements, car payments, insurance documents, screenshots of Sophia's posts. I organized everything. I added it up. In the past 5 years, I had given Vanessa more than $78,000 in emergency money. The car I bought Sophia cost $32,000, not including insurance and maintenance. I was even sending Vanessa money every month to cover gas for that car, for a car she didn't buy. I had basically been funding 2 households, mine and theirs. I went to sleep, and for the first time in years, I slept peacefully. The next morning, everything started to move. At 8 a.m., I called my credit card company. "Hi, this is Natalie Wells. I need to remove an authorized user immediately." They asked why. "The card is being used for non-emergency personal spending against our agreement. We'll deactivate her access right away," they said. "We'll send you a new card number." Just like that. 2 years of abuse ended in 10 minutes. My second call was to my friend Thomas, who is a property lawyer. I told him about the car. Legally, he said, "You're completely in the clear. The car is yours. It's registered in your name. You pay for it. You can take it back at any time. Even if I told her she could use it until she graduated, use is not own," he said. "You're fine." My third call was to a towing service. I arranged to pick up the car from Sophia's high school parking lot while she was at early dance practice. I sent them proof of registration and insurance. "Please be discreet," I told them. "There may be emotions. Our drivers are trained to handle that," they said. Then I called my financial advisor, Janet. We already had a meeting scheduled in a few weeks. I moved it to that afternoon. I told her everything. She'd been hinting for years that I was basically financially supporting a second family. She created a spreadsheet of what I'd given them in 5 years. "The total comes to just over $116,000, she said, "not including the car." Then she said something that almost made me dizzy. If you had invested that instead, even at a moderate growth rate, you'd have an additional $122,000 today. And going forward, if you stop this spending, you can move your retirement timeline up by at least 4 years. 4 years of my life, given away to people who laughed while I was soaked in cranberry at my own birthday dinner. At 7:50 a.m., Sophia called me. She was hysterical. MYCRIS gone. Someone stole my car from school. It's not your car, I said calmly. It's mine. I bought it. It's registered to me. I pay the insurance. I had it picked up. You can't DO that. How am I supposed to get to school? How am I supposed to get to dance? Are you seriously doing this because of last night? It was just a joke. Humiliating me in public is not a joke, I told her. Recording me without my knowledge is not a joke. Posting me online and calling me cheap is not a joke. That's cruelty. And cruelty has consequences. She started crying. The begging kind of crying. Please, Aunt Natalie, please, I'm sorry. I'll delete the posts. I need the car. I'm sorry too, I said. But my decision is final. I hung up. 2 minutes later, Vanessa called. I let it go to voicemail. Then I listened. You stranded my daughter? Are you insane? Answer your phone right NOW. I'm at the drive-thru and the cards declined. Are you kidding me? You are really doing this over a stupid dinner? Are you serious right now? You are so selfish. Then my mother called. She used her favorite tone. Sad. Disappointed. Holy. Natalie, what is this I'm hearing? You took Sophia's car and canceled your sister's card over a little spilled drink? That's petty. We help each other in this family. Your sister needs that card for emergencies. I said, this is not a little spilled drink, Mom. Sophia deliberately tried to humiliate me in public and then bragged about it online. Vanessa encouraged it. You defended it. She's just a child. She's 17, Mom. Old enough to drive a car I bought. Old enough to post me online and call me cheap. Old enough to face consequences. Mom sighed. What do you want? An apology? Because if that's what it takes to turn the money back on. And that moment told me everything I needed to know. That's when I said, I'll be available at my apartment at 3 p.m. We have a lot to discuss about our future relationship. Then I started printing. Bank transfers, credit card statements, car registration, screenshots of Sophia's posts, the whole thing. I laid it all out on my dining table. The towing service called at 11:30. We've secured the vehicle, they said. There was a young lady trying to stop us. She was very upset. But we showed her the documentation. The car will be in your building garage within the hour. I tipped extra. At 2:55 p.m., building security called me. Miss Wells, there are 3 people to see you. Vanessa, Sophia, and Patricia. Send them up, I said. 3 sharp knocks. Angry, entitled knocks. I opened the door and there they were. Vanessa, red-faced, already fuming. Sophia, puffy eyes, arms crossed, mouth tight. My mother, wearing her "I am suffering because of you" expression. Come in, I told them calmly. We have a lot to discuss. They came in like an invading army. I am at OT sitting down, Vanessa snapped. Until you explain how you could strand my daughter and cancel my card without warning. I stayed calm. The car is registered in my name, I said. The insurance is in my name. It's legally mine. I allowed Sophia to use it. You gave it to her, Vanessa shot back. No, I said. I loaned it to her. There's a difference. My mother stepped in with her sweet voice. Natalie, honey, I understand you're upset about your birthday dinner, but all this is extreme. Instead of arguing, I pulled out a chair. I sat down. I pointed to the table. Please sit, I said. I want to show you something. They sat. Slowly, I slid the first folder across the table. These are my bank records for the past 5 years, I said. Every transfer I've made to Vanessa. The total is $47,632. Vanessa's mouth opened, then shut. I slid the next folder. These are the credit card statements from the card I put you on for emergencies only. The total charges come to $23,418. Items include designer clothes, restaurants, salon appointments, concert tickets, hotels, and spa treatments. My mother cleared her throat. Family helps family. I have worked extremely hard for my money, I said flatly. 60 to 70-hour weeks. Missed holidays. Missed relationships. I have earned every dollar I have. Then I slid the last document. This is the purchase agreement for the car Sophia's been driving. $32,000. Plus about $4,000 a year in insurance and maintenance, all paid by me. Sophia finally looked up. Her face fell a little. Then I turned my tablet around and showed Sophia's posts. The video of me holding Vanessa's cheap candle. The picture of me covered in red drink. The captions. The comments. The laughing emojis. The cheap as she really is. Sophia, I said quietly, explain to me why you thought that was okay. It was just a joke, she muttered. A joke? I repeated. Did you see me laugh when you threw a drink on me in public? Did you think it was funny when you ruined a $3,000 dress? You can afford another one, she said under her breath. That, I said, is not the point. The point is respect. Basic human decency. I turned to Vanessa. And you, I said, you like those posts. You left laughing emojis while your daughter publicly mocked the person who's been paying your bills for years. I didn't think it was that serious, she said weakly. Then I turned to my mother. When Sophia attacked me in public, you comforted her. You didn't ask if I was okay. You didn't tell her to stop. You acted like she was the one who got hurt. My mother looked confused. She was upset. She was upset. I said, because she had just humiliated me on purpose. I stood, walked to the window, breathed, then turned back to them. For years, I have helped you. I've paid for rent, utilities, cars, dance classes, gas, insurance, food, everything. And I asked for nothing but respect. And last night made something extremely clear. I am not respected in this family. I am used. Vanessa finally understood. So you're cutting this off? Just like that. I am setting boundaries that should have existed a long time ago, I said. The credit card is canceled. The automatic transfers are stopped. The car is back in my possession. Sophia burst out. How am I supposed to get to dance? How am I supposed to get to school? The same way other 17-year-olds do, I said. Bus, rides, walking, planning. This isn't fair. What wasn't fair? I said evenly. Was you throwing a drink in my face and calling me cheap while driving a car I bought and insured? My mother tried again. This is punishment. Families shouldn't punish each other. These are consequences, I said. When you mistreat someone who supports you, you may lose that support. That's not punishment. That's reality. Vanessa's face had gone pale. Rent's due next week. I can't make it without you. I'm sure you'll figure it out, I said. Maybe a second job. Maybe a roommate. People do it every day. And Sophia's dance classes? She demanded. Her college fund? Are you taking that too? The college fund is separate, I said. That was always for education. It's in a trust. She'll have access when she enrolls in higher education. Sophia's head shot up. So you're not taking the college money? No. I said, that money is for your future. It stays. Everything else ends. The room went quiet. For the first time in my life, they had nothing to say. Finally, my mother spoke softly. I can't believe you would do this to your own family. I looked at her and asked, what exactly have you done for me, Mom? When have you supported me? When have you defended me? When have you celebrated me without turning it into a conversation about Vanessa? She didn't answer. Vanessa tried a different tactic. Okay, fine. We messed up. We are sorry. What do we have to do to fix this? This is not something you fix with a fast apology, I told her. This is about years of disrespect. This is about patterns that go back decades. This is about the fact that love in this family has always come with a price tag. And that price tag is me. So you're just done with us, Sophia whispered, and this time her voice cracked. For the first time, I heard real fear. I softened. A little. I'm not done with you, I said. I'm done being used. I'm done being your ATM. I'm done being your emotional punching bag. I am not going to accept cruelty in the name of family anymore. I gathered the documents into a neat stack. Here's what happens now, I said. You go home. You figure out how to live within your actual means. You build a budget that does not include my money. You decide if having me in your life is important enough to treat me with basic respect and decency. I walked to the door and opened it. That was the signal. Meeting over. I love you, I said, and it surprised me how true that still was. But I will no longer accept being loved only when I am paying. They filed out. My mother was the last one at the door. She paused. Her voice was small. I never meant to hurt you, she said. I know, I told her quietly. But you did. Over and over. And now we all have to live with what that did. Then I closed the door. And for the first time in my adult life, I felt free. Not happy, not yet, but free. What happened after that took 6 months. The first month was hell. My phone blew up with texts, anger, begging, guilt. You're destroying this family. How could you do this? Answer me now. Wow, so money matters more to you than us. I didn't fight. I didn't argue. I only answered practical questions. I refused to respond to manipulation. Then the messages slowed. Then they stopped. For 2 full weeks, I heard nothing. That silence hurt. And it also felt like peace. Then, out of nowhere, Sophia texted me. I got a job at the mall, she wrote, saving for a car, not asking for money. Just wanted you to know. For the first time in a long time, I smiled. I texted back. I'm proud of you. That's not easy. Vanessa took longer. At first, she cycled through rage and self-pity. Then, slowly, she adjusted. 3 months in, she found a better-paying job as an office manager. She moved into a smaller, cheaper apartment she could actually afford on her own. Then she sent me a message I honestly never thought I would get from her. Thank you for forcing me to stand on my own. I hate how it happened, but I needed the push. My mother was the hardest one to shift. She had spent decades protecting Vanessa, babying Sophia, and treating me like I didn't need anything. We started doing short phone calls once a week. No money talk. If she tried to say, well, Sophia is suffering without the car, I would say, Vanessa's new job is going to help a lot. I'm glad she found something stable, and change the subject. Something softened after that. She started asking questions about my life, real questions. How work was going, how my friends were. She actually listened. One day she said quietly, You sound different, Natalie. Happier. I am, I told her. Setting boundaries has been good for me. I can see that now, she said. Then, after a long pause, I wish I had seen you sooner. Not a full apology, but the closest she had ever come. By the 6-month mark, we'd worked our way back to simple family dinners, not at fancy restaurants, at my mother's house. Just us. Home-cooked food. No champagne. No performance. Sophia had changed. She was still a teenager, still had attitude, but there was something new in her, responsibility. She had a part-time job. She was applying to colleges, not just for dance, but for programs with real majors. She'd stopped posting nasty things online. One night after dinner, she asked, Can we talk privately? We walked in my mom's small backyard. I need to apologize, she said, looking me right in the eyes. What I did at your birthday was cruel and stupid. I was jealous. Your life looked so easy and ours felt so hard. I thought tearing you down would make me feel better. It was never easy, I told her gently. I worked for everything I have. I made choices and sacrifices. You will have to too. She nodded. I get that now. Working for minimum wage really opened my eyes. Yeah, that'll do it. Then after a second, she said, Is the college fund really still there? It is, I told her. It was always for your education. It's staying exactly where it is. Her face, the relief, I'll never forget it. Thank you, she whispered. I'm applying to state schools with dance programs. Something realistic. That sounds smart, I said. That sounds like someone thinking about her actual future. She swallowed. Are we okay? We're getting there, I told her honestly. Trust takes time. Vanessa changed too. Without me there to rescue her, she finally had to rescue herself. She got a steadier job. She started night classes in accounting. She moved into a place she could actually afford. We met for lunch one afternoon, and she admitted something I had been waiting to hear since we were kids. "I resented you for so long," she said. "I told myself you had it easy because you didn't have a kid, because you left home, because you were just lucky. But now I see you weren't lucky. You made choices. I made choices. And those choices led to different lives. That's not your fault." It was the first real adult conversation we'd ever had. My mother took the longest, but even she started to change. She stopped instantly defending Vanessa. She stopped minimizing what I'd done with my life. One night, after a family dinner, she pulled me aside and said quietly, "I failed you as a mother. I thought Vanessa needed me more, so I poured everything into her and assumed you were fine. I took your strength for granted. I am sorry, Natalie. Truly sorry." I cried, because I had been waiting my whole life to hear that. And here's the beautiful part. Without constantly bailing them out, I got my life back. I had free time. I had energy. I wasn't on call 24/7. I wasn't bleeding money to cover other people's mess. I started taking a photography class. I started dating again. I took a 2-week trip to Italy alone and loved every second. For the first time, my life was mine. When I turned 35, I almost didn't celebrate. I thought, last year was a disaster. I don't need a party. But my friend Kate said, "You're not going to let them steal birthdays from you." So I did it differently. No designer dress. No $1,000 meal. No performance. We did a small dinner at my mother's house. Just family and close friends. Simple food. Real conversation. And for the first time in my life, it felt like family, not like a transaction. Sophia made me a handmade card, and I could tell she actually spent time on it. Vanessa got me a small, thoughtful gift that she could afford without asking me for money. My mother cooked all my favorite foods from when I was little. Then, during dessert, my mother stood up and gave a toast. This woman, who had spent my entire life minimizing me, looked around the table and said, "To my daughter Natalie, who had the courage to show us a better way to be a family, who loved us enough to stop enabling our worst behavior. I am proud of the woman you've become, and I am grateful I get to really know you now." The table went silent. Then everyone's glasses clinked. Some of us cried. Before Sophia left that night, she handed me an envelope. "I saved this from my job," she said. "It's not much. It's $200. I wanted to pay you back. For the car. For everything." My eyes stung. "Sweetheart," I said softly. "You don't have to." "I want to," she interrupted. "It's important. I want you to know I understand now." I took the envelope, not because I needed the $200, because I understood what it meant. Accountability. Respect. On the drive home that night, I realized something. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is say no. Sometimes the hardest boundary is the one that saves everyone. Sometimes family has to break before it can be rebuilt the right way. We're not perfect now. We still have moments. Old habits try to come back. Feelings still get hurt sometimes. But for the first time in my entire life, our family is moving towards something healthier. I am no longer a wallet with a pulse. They are no longer children demanding and demanding and demanding. We are learning how to show love without control. We are learning how to give without owning. We are learning how to receive without entitlement. And I am finally being loved for who I am, not for what I can pay for. If you've ever had entitled family members, if you've ever felt used, if you've ever struggled to set boundaries with people you love, tell me in the comments. Did you go through something like this? What worked for you? And if this story helped you, if it made you feel seen, please like, subscribe, and share this with someone who might need the reminder. You're allowed to draw a line. You're allowed to stop bleeding for people who would never bandage you. You are allowed to protect your peace. Thank you for listening to my story, and I hope you find the strength to set the boundaries you deserve.